Hello all and welcome to Defense of the Patients. This is a friendly reminder for our March 17th stream. On this stream, we will be doing tons of cool giveaways. Reminder, this stream is for our $500 goal that all of you helped us reach. We are going to be starting this March 17th, 6 p.m. Eastern to midnight Eastern. 6 p.m. the stream will kick off. 7 p.m. will be our first Dota 2 mousepad drawing. 7:30, first .p t-shirt drawing. 8 p.m. mousepad. 8:30 t-shirt. 9 p.m. mousepad. 9:30 t-shirt. 10 p.m. mousepad. 10:30 t-shirt. 11 mousepad. 11:30 t-shirt. And for the final prize, a Dota 2 edition SteelSeries Rival mouse. It's kick-ass. I want one myself. So you should definitely tune into the stream. But for you patrons that won't be able to tune into the stream, you're in luck. You're still going to be put into every raffle for every single thing. I just want to say thank you, most of all, to everybody who has got us here. As it stands right now, we are over $750 a month with 84 patrons. So thank you for making our dreams come true here at Defense of the Patients. With every dollar you give, it shows us that you support us, you love us, we love you back. God damn it, you're awesome. This is supposed to be a commercial, but I'm just going to gush a little longer. No, I'm not. Hello all and welcome to Proudland, where it is all of Proud, and it was a good portion, and I'm just falling. It's falling big time, Proud. I'm at like 3.35.
Yeah, well, you know what? I also lost a good amount of MMR, but we're making it back.
I noticed that, I'm proud of you for playing, though, at least. I noticed...
Yeah.
I figured you probably weren't 5K anymore, seeing as it's
not
on your profile.
I'm back to 5K. I just take it off because I get in all these high MMR games, and then when it says, like, oh, there's like a 6K and like a 5.7, they never want to let me safe lane. And I let that happen several times, just be like, I'm just going to support. But then there have been enough games where I just get, like, you know, someone with, like, an obvious offensive name or something and, like, the worst icon ever, like some smug anime girl or something. And then they, like, demand to go safely and one thing doesn't go their way and then they, like, feed. And I'm like, all right, I'm just, like...
taking it. That's actually a good strategy.
I'm going to carry. Like, if I feel like I'm going to carry, like, I'm just going to do it. And that's been going much better.
Okay, quick question before we start. Okay. If I really want to carry but safe lane's been taken, how do you feel about me going Alchemist Jungle?
Please don't do it. I lost a game with that recently because it was fucking horrendous.
Okay, we'll stop there. It's worked, and that's why I have like this confirmation bias.
I don't disbelieve you.
It's worked.
I keep saying I don't disbelieve you, but that's not correct.
Yeah, that's like an oxymoron. Yeah, for sure.
It's like I want to say I believe you, but I don't want it because like you know how like I say you're not wrong, and now Sam also often says, well, you're not wrong, because it's like it's not that you're right. But you're definitely not wrong about that.
Is that what I thought you're not wrong was just another way of saying you're right. So you're not wrong has an implication of saying, well, you're not totally right, but you're not totally wrong.
It's just like, I really don't want to tell you that you're right, but you're not, or like, you know, like you say that, like, I'm not going to disagree with you. Like, you're not wrong. It's just, I'm not going to say no to that.
Okay, so it's
not like, oh yeah, dude, I totally agree. It's like,
so not a resounding yes, not a resounding yes. You're fucking absolutely hit it on the head, nail right.
And it's like
you're not wrong.
I don't think we have a way back into this game. And I wouldn't say yeah, let's give. I would say like, well, you're not wrong. Like it's like I'd want to tell you you're wrong, but I just can't.
So as people just heard at the start of this show, stream this Saturday, the 18th. Do you know what's happening with the stream? Have you been informed, sir?
Have I been informed? I think if there's anything I've learned about .p is that my default state is not informed.
Well, I'll just give the giveaway real quick. So we're giving away 5 shirts, 5 Dota mouse pads, like those cool Dota mouse pads, the mouse mats.
Okay, I don't know.
And then a SteelSeries Dota mouse.
Okay,
as the last one. Of course, it'll be 6 p.m. EST to midnight EST. If you are a patron, I've been asked this a million times. If you are a patron and you don't make it to the stream, you are still going to be in the running. Don't worry. You don't like have to take work off or miss your kid's soccer game or something like that. Like, you're still in the running for winning a mouse pad or a shirt. Or the big prize is a really sweet mouse that has that I want personally. It's like all Dota and it's red lit and it has like Dota emblem all over it. It's fucking awesome, dude.
Sounds dank.
I know it does. Anyway, that's just the business out of there. Also, we're adding anybody that donates during the stream will also be put on there, but we'll get to that this Saturday.
Okay.
In other business, Proud, how are you, sir?
I'm okay. I'm doing good.
You're doing
pretty
good.
Okay. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I feel like it's been a while. It's literally been a week since I've had any time
Since I could say hello to Roland. It's been a while.
I don't know the lyrics. It just sounds that song is just sounds. It's been a while.
It's been a while. Yeah. It's just fun to like make your voice do that. It's been a while. Like I have
you
no
know that
to do it.
He was sitting in like a coffee shop, the guy that wrote that song probably, and he was just sitting there like, I need to come up with a song, and he's like, God, it's been a while. And then he's like, yes, that's it. We're gonna go with that. You know that's how that song started.
Yeah, he's just like, where's my coffee? It's been a while.
So Dota, so you lost a bunch, you climbed a bunch. What happened in your losing? Because I have a theory on what happened, why I lost so much MMR and why.
I had a bunch of really bad games, honestly, and then like
bad teammates, bad play on yourself. Like
I had several like mixes of like levers, and then like a dude DC'd, and like it was so bad and so severe that like I stayed in a game where we had a disconnected invoker for minute 2. And we managed to like pull it back and win at like an hour and 30 minutes. Like that's how badly I needed a win after all these terrible games.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, a couple of them, there was like one that was like distinctly my fault on a Slark, but I feel like I just had like a lot of really rough games. That's why I didn't stress about it, because it wasn't like, oh, I'm playing like shit. It was just, it's a bad run. And then, you keep playing, you get back up there. I've been winning a lot of offlane games. Like, if I play Slardar or Centaur offlane, I fucking tear that shit up, man. Centaur's so good.
Centaur is so fucking good. I feel like, and I know you'll disagree with me, but I really love to play a 1-1-4-1 Centaur.
Yeah, I would never do that.
The reason I love it is I'm just like, hit me, bitch. Yeah. Hit me, bitch.
I can understand why you would want that, but it's just like what you get out of the points is so minimal compared to like double edge, a 400 damage
double edge
nuke.
Is super good, yeah. And all you need is strength
by like 2 damage, and then the strength bonus. Like even if you have 100 strength, which you don't, the damage will only go up by like 17.
It's kind of like saying that Spectre's E. God, I can't believe. Dispersion is like good early. I guess it's kind of like a similar.
Some people really like for a while I heard like, oh, a Miracle Spectre max dispersion first, and I was like, that sounds cool, but I haven't actually seen it get played like that ever.
Yeah, Denny and I had a discussion. Friday
I hated that discussion.
Yeah, me too. Couldn't wait to get off of that discussion.
It was pretty bad. Yeah, here's how I like to do Spectre. I'm 2-2-1 at 4, and then I max the dagger afterwards.
Okay, so I know dagger's max, but
yeah. Well, I mean, like it's not like 3 points I often leave it at, because like the main thing about dagger, the damage is nice because Spectre doesn't do shit, right? So you want to if I can throw in 200 damage in a team fight, that's probably more than I'm gonna do otherwise. But like 2 points in Desolate is kind of like a value point, and then like you're worried about dagger costing too much mana, but like the real business on dagger is the movement speed change. It gives you a move speed increase and them a slow. So like the damage isn't that great, but
the differential too in speed. If it slows them and boosts you.
Yeah, and then just like, and it's such a long range ability too.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's good to like level. Honestly, like I'd almost say I wouldn't fault someone if I saw them just like leveling shit up evenly. But I think at some point, I mean, I don't know, like all of her skills are so fucking powerful. So
yeah, Spectre's awesome.
It's not too bad. I love Spectre. Just lost a game with the Spectre on my team. They bought back and haunted, immediately died, and then we lost 2 Raxes. Tough life.
Tough life indeed. All right, so today we are going to try and tackle the biggest thing about Dota. I think this is probably one of the bigger things that plagues newer players. I know my wife struggles with it because no matter, I'm glad she fell on this. I'm gonna say this, but
Okay.
she buys a Glimmer Cape every single game on Crystal Maiden, and she only plays Crystal Maiden. So, but the thing is, Glimmer Cape really isn't ever horrible. So I don't want to be like, don't do that. Like, Blink Dagger's better, even though Blink Dagger may be better in some situations. I just kind of let her do it. But what we're trying to tackle today is items and heroes.
Items.
And we to couch this before we start, we know that this is probably going to take some time.
We couch a lot of things on this show.
We do. I'm not sitting on a couch, but I could
sitting
be.
in your comfy
you guys
chair.
Wouldn't know. I could say sitting in my comfy chair.
Right.
Yes. I don't know even why that came about.
Yeah, I don't. Do you have a very comfy chair? I imagine you do.
Yeah, it actually really is very.
Okay, well, now we know.
So where the inspiration for this, I'm guessing going to be a series of episodes for Proudland, came from is the stream team and also just learning Dota in general. I used to use guides even on heroes that I've played multiple times.
Do you still use it?
No, I still use guides. Yeah, like if it's like, so if I'm like, for instance, I never play Bloodseeker, but I pick Bloodseeker. Yeah, I'm gonna put a guide on. I want to know like, okay, what do I build on Bloodseeker? Because I don't like you said, you load in, like you've said multiple times, you load in this RAM before a game. Like I think even in the pick stage, if you know you're gonna pick Bloodseeker, you have an idea of what you're going to build on that Bloodseeker in that game.
Yeah.
But if I'm just picking Bloodseeker because it's a good pick or that hero looks fun, my RAM has not loaded in anything as far as what I'm going to build on the hero. I just know that the hero has Rupture, he has this big silence thing, and then he has this lifesteal ability, and when people are low health, I run really fast.
True.
I'm not thinking like S and Y is good because Maim does this, and the Y portion gives you more speed. Like, those are things that I am not thinking about.
Right.
And putting myself back to a newer player status, Bristleback always got Vanguard. That no matter what. Timbersaw always went Bloodstone Aghanims, no matter what. Legion Commander would always get Brown Boots into Blink Dagger by 6 minutes, no matter what. And I have an example for every hero. Pretty much. Like, Nature's Prophet gets Midas, no matter what. Wind Ranger gets Ags as soon as she can. And
no, she doesn't, but that's fine.
Well, that's what we're here to break. You know what I mean? Is
Drought
all
range,
these...
Well, I mean, she almost... I mean, dude,
these are just...
situation. That's...
Sure. And,
she gets Hurricane Pike every game. We'll end it there.
Sure, yeah. But what we do realize, so I want to build this on some things. There are heroes that their items don't change too much.
Right. PA gets Deso, end of story.
Yeah, PA gets Deso, end of story. Juggernaut gets Manta. Anti-Mage gets Manta. Although Anti-Mage it's cool to see Anti-Mage changing a little bit, whereas you would
People
say Anti-Mage...
crazy.
Yeah, where you would say Anti-Mage would always get Battle Fury. That may not be so true anymore, but Morphling, always getting Lincoln Sphere. The same with Weaver, always getting Lincoln Sphere. And we're starting to see kind of a divergence.
Those two aren't distinctly true, but for the most part, yeah.
And it's these for the most parts. But what I want to get into today is why. Because if you know, it's just like when tutoring math, if you know why, it's a lot better than knowing just I do it and it works. If you know why and then it works, instead of just do it and it works, you're going to be much better inherently at what you're doing. So with all of that being said, I want to try and organize our thoughts a little bit here as we go through items. Yeah. And I think the best place to start, Proud, would be boots. Not brown boots. What type of boots do I get?
The boots.
And I realize, there are 113, I believe, maybe 114 heroes now. What is a good determining factor for boots? Let's just start there. I am a blank hero. What boots do I need? Like, what stats are going to indicate what boots do I need, or however you would figure this out?
Well, so the first two I think that you want to look at are treads and phase, right? Those two fulfill a kind of similar requirement in that you have to be interested in right clicking to some extent. Um, Treads are good for if a hero is interested in stat manipulation. Treads are cool because you can change around, you can shift what 9 attribute you have. And if you're doing something like you have a bottle or you have a heal built into your hero, something like that, like you can bottle on agi treads and then switch it to int, and that 60 mana that you just gained, because now your mana pool is bigger and everything stays at a percentage, because you gained 60 mana, now instead you gained like 70 because your mana just grew. Or if you're a Legion commander, you can have your treads on int and then heal yourself and then put them back to strength after the heal is done, and you've saved a bunch of mana on your heal and then gained more health than you would have if your treads just stayed on strength. So if you have cool stat manipulation and you want some attack speed, you can go for the treads. And if you do want attack speed, like let's say anti-mage, he's just gonna blink on top of motherfuckers. He has illusions. Illusions only benefit from attack speed and stats, not the damage from phase boots. So he wants power treads because he wants attack speed because of mana break. And then you look at so phase boots are okay. So I would say it's kind of like going down a list. Number one, if you fulfill the requirements for phase boots, you want phase boots, and the requirement for phase boots is you need mobility and before blink dagger, and also or you absolutely need early game plus damage. I would say if you fall into that category, you need those boots. And so I would say a hero like Sniper. Sniper loves attack speed, but Sniper does 0 goddamn damage without phase boots, especially early games. So you need phase boots and you need mobility on that hero. You're not going to build a blink. It's well before you get your Hurricane Pike. You need something to be moving you around. So phase boots, great for Sniper. Hero like Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage doesn't need early game damage because he's not really team fighting. Anti-Mage doesn't need mobility because he has blink. So he doesn't need that. Go to the next one. Do you need attack speed? And are you into stat manipulation? Yeah, AM's into that. So you go for that. And then
okay, that's a good list. So if I were to just get thrown into the wild with a random hero, I've never played any of the Dota heroes, and say the only 2 boots that exist, I could take any hero and say Witch Doctor. All right. I'm pretty slow, but I also don't do a lot of damage. Like, what comes first? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're just thrown on any random ass hero, I guess Witch Doctor isn't the best example. Say Viper. I know that there has been a long-standing Viper treads versus Viper phase.
Yeah.
So Viper gets his damage inherently from W. So would that be okay? So I have damage. I need
has a ton of. So this is when you would look a little bit more about what their kit synergizes with. So Viper by default has built-in plus damage, right? Nether Toxin deals extra damage in the form of just increasing the damage that your right clicks do at face value, not by increasing your attack speed, not by giving you crit, not by reducing armor. It's just, if they have low health, I get plus damage. So you don't actually need more plus damage on Viper. The only thing that actually synergizes with the bonus damage of Nether Toxin would be, at least as far as boots are concerned, would be attack speed, because then you get the plus damage happening more often, right? Like, additive bonuses stack well with multiplicative bonuses. Attack speed is multiplicative, Nether Toxin is additive. So that's one thing. Also, I would say, yes, the mobility on Viper is good, but you also have to look at the stat manipulation is nice for Viper. Maybe he just really needs extra int. It's not just stat manipulation. It's that you could really use the stats. So Viper wants to be tanky sometimes. Sometimes he just wants to farm. Sometimes he wants int tread so he can use mechanism. So really, he wants all of the attributes, and the mobility is nice, but he also, attack speed does just synergize with Nether Toxin, plus damage does not synergize at all. So what you would really want to look at is say, okay, do I want a bit of move speed? Do I need this mobility, or do I want the attack speed and the greater stats? And I think the answer for Viper is definitely the move speed and the attack speed and the stats.
But then we have another layer that goes deeper, which is phase movement.
Right, that's what is the move speed. Oh yeah. The fact that you can phase through. Yeah.
The fact that you can, that Viper is a very unique case in that you're not drawing aggro from creeps if you're hitting them with your Q. You can phase through your own creeps and their creeps and chase them down. Is that Is that
I would
something that you would
say,
still say not worth? Still
yeah.
go
I mean,
treads?
Viper's a ranged hero, so you're not as often tripping over other things, other people, other units. And also, if you're not generating creep aggro, then they're not mobbing you. You can, like weave through the defensive linemen and just like, okay, I'm just gonna get through here, guys. Thank you. And they're not gonna pay you any mind. But also a big thing with Viper is that he has a bunch of slows built into him. So if you are ever hitting someone, your move speed isn't that big a deal. Like if you're ulting someone, you don't really need phase movement. They're not you got them. They're not moving. You're not Juggernaut trying to chase someone down with spin. They are in place.
Once again, the differential there, where if they're moving slower and you're moving at the same rate, you're thusly moving
Right.
faster.
Right.
In a way,
Yes.
perspective based. So, so I like that checklist because a lot of the times I'm on a Weaver and I'm like, okay, I already have mobility, and this is awesome. Like now I'm just looking at the list and applying your rules. Like I already have mobility. Like I already have damage with like I'm doing two right clicks with
Weaver's
my
a unique
E.
case because Weaver loves plus damage because Geminate attack doesn't scale with attack speed at all. It only scales with
Damage.
like damage and minus armor and that sort of thing. So like,
But I'm
people wo-
squishy.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
and also I mean Weaver doesn't even need like go boots that often because of Sakuchi.
Yeah. So,
But
but
that's
with
a
Weaver, I would
case.
say that okay, fuck the damage. I already have the mobility. I want treads because I could use a little more attack speed, even though attack speed doesn't even necessarily help Geminate
Yeah.
attack.
Yeah, a little bit of attack speed because like Weaver doesn't build any items to give him attack speed. That's the only reason I really do like treads on Weaver is that you're going to be almost entirely reliant for Geminate attack on the default item build. Like you've got like Deso and then a Lincoln Sphere. Lincoln gives you a bit of agi, but that's about it. And then like a Dragonlance. Like you got maybe like 20 agi between all of your abilities and maybe 30 or something like that. And that's all the attack speed you're getting. So with treads like that almost doubles the attack speed that you're getting from your items.
For sure. Okay, so I want to move on to like a hero like Axe. All
Okay.
right, I'm tanky and I'm slow. I don't have an escape, but neither treads nor phase seem to be what I need. I'm not necessarily right clicking anybody. That's not where my damage is coming from. So I don't really need damage. I don't really need attack speed either because I don't really want to necessarily be right clicking anybody.
Right.
Phase movement kind of sounds nice on Axe so that I
Yeah,
can
extra
go through the
mobility
creeps.
would be interesting.
But how come this is something that I'm never going to see on Axe? Phase boots.
Well, so for one reason is that I mean heroes get mobility from multiple sources, right? If you're a good blink dagger hero, it's not as necessary for you to have phase boots. So because Axe knows that he's going to go for a blink dagger later for various reasons, he also knows that he doesn't need to rush the to rush the phase boots. On this kind of checklist that we're building of items, we say okay, move speed and damage. Yeah, not exactly. Attack speed and stat manipulation. Stat manipulation would be nice, but not the attack speed, not too severe. Next, I would probably put mana boots on that priority list. If it was like, am I a hero that needs mana and / or does my whole team need mana and I don't have another good option, then I'd go for this. And then the last one would be tranquil boots, which is obviously what we're gonna land at here. And tranquil boots is does my hero like does my hero need the ability to stay on the map via health regeneration, I would say. And I would say Axe definitely fits into that category. It's a little weird to think about, but I would say, like, is my hero going to build anything for health regen besides Tranquils? And if the answer is no, then I would almost always go Tranquils.
Okay. And you see that Vanguard for me was always like you get Vanguard on Axe so you can stay alive longer so you can counter Helix and more.
Yeah.
But really the point of Axe is similar to the point of Slardar to get in there, call, allow your team to follow up, and really the longer you stay, the worse the fight's probably going in the end.
Yeah,
Like,
and also, I mean, to do any of those initiations, you need to be at full health, right? And this is a hero that wants to farm, and he farms with his body to get a blink dagger. So if you don't have a way to keep your health up, like you're not Weaver. You're not farming by staying away from everything. You're farming by throwing your chest into it. You're gonna lose some health. That's why you need the tranquils.
Okay. Next example that I wanna use for tranquils is Lion.
Okay.
why Tranquils on Lion? This is
I actually
something.
hate Tranquils online. I think you go mana boots almost every game.
Okay, well, why have Tranquils been like the staple for Lion then? I feel like, at least in my experience, they've always
So
been
this is when I
the
when I
staple.
would go to on like the list of options you have. Um, so you have the phase boots. We talked about that. The treads, and then right below there would be the arcane boot option. You would say, do I need a bigger mana pool? Do I need more mana? Or does my team just need a bunch of mana? And do I not have another great option? And Lion would look at that and say like, well, I'm not getting health regen from anywhere, which makes Tranquils appealing. Also, Tranquils are cheap, and I have this ability called Mana Drain, which makes me fairly independent as far as mana is concerned from a regeneration perspective. So the mana that you gain back from the active of Arcane Boots is not as appealing to Lion. But at the same time, my counter would be you have such a small mana pool. If you don't go that, you have like what, blink tranquils or something, maybe a wand, and your finger of death costs 90% of your mana pool, and then you have an 150 mana cost on hex and 160 mana cost on earth spike. Like you just don't have the mana for your skills without the mana boots. Also, your team probably needs mana because you're Lion. I mean, you're either the 4 or the 5. No one else on your team is going to buy mana boots for the most part, just from the way the game works.
And the way we approach Proudland in most cases is from a pub perspective. If you pick Lion, chances of you getting another support are pretty nil. I'll go ahead and say that.
That makes it even worse though, because it's like the chances of you. Because the reason a lot of people, like whenever I talk to Sam, or Cinity, he always is like, "Well, you can go Tranquil Soul Ring on this hero," and I get mad and I get huffy. I'm going, "No, he sucks."
Well,
but sometimes
Soul
people
Ring doesn't add mana pool. Soul Ring just literally just gives
you
more
your
mana
back. Yeah, but I mean, what I'm saying is, well, it's an active that it gives you some mana.
It will give you mana pool.
Yeah. Anyway, the idea is that a lot of the times you say, "Oh, I'm having a really bad game. There's no way I'm getting up to this 900 gold." What's a lot easier is 175 and then 135. Like it's not, or 125. It's not too hard to save up for Tranquil Boots, but it is really hard to save up for mana boots. So sometimes you say, "Oh God, I'm a solo support. There's no way I'm ever gonna make it to mana boots this game." And that's when you would say, "Okay, well, oh yeah." The other appeal to Tranquils is, do I have no goddamn money and do I need to upgrade my boots? So if you're playing a Lion, you're not getting much farm. You need a bunch of health regen because no one likes you, and you put in all the work and no one appreciates you. Then yeah, you can go Tranquils. That's fine. But ideally, like you never want to go Tranquils on Lion. You always want to go mana boots. And then if you're, super starved for health regen, buy your Ring of Regeneration that's eventually going to turn into a Force Staff or something.
Which, yeah, Force Staff seems to be one of those items that is, no matter what, probably going to help you item.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it costs money.
It does cost money. You're right.
And just because it's a great item in every game doesn't mean there isn't an item for the same price that's a little bit better for that situation.
Okay.
That would be my counter argument to not going Force Staff every single game.
Yeah. Well, sure, yeah. I'm just saying it like if I'm playing a support like Lion and I need health regen and I'm not like someone who builds mech easily, I would say the only support item besides mech that gives a good amount of health regen that is fine to get later in the game, I would say is probably Force Staff, because I mean you're gonna get like mana boots, blink, and you need something cheap to kind of get your health regen going, so you're not just buying Tango's all map or something. I think just like, I'll get a Ring of Regen, that's eventually going to turn into my Force Staff.
For sure.
Hey, Lion, I mean, there's no point on this hero's lifespan where I'm not like, man, I need another goddamn staff wizardry item to keep my mana pool big. Because, man, Finger of Death costs a shit ton of mana.
It absolutely does, and even when
Hex.
you have Aghanims and to
200
do
mana for Hex? You fucking kidding me?
it's a ton. I mean, but it's go up against the Storm Spirit and you're like, oh my god, that's right, I have Kryptonite. I forgot. Okay, so I feel like that's a really good checklist for boots. I feel like I could
Yeah,
go blind
let's
into a
recap
game.
it.
Yeah, please do.
Let's get that.
Please
All
do.
right. So first is like, okay, does my hero uniquely synergize with plus damage, or do I just need plus damage for my very important right clicks? If no, do I really need early game mobility before a blink dagger comes out? And then if that's not the case, you look at treads and you say, do I specifically need a stat? Do I synergize specifically with stats, or do I specifically synergize with some stat manipulation? Or do I really just need attack speed? And then if there's no to that, you say, do I not have another great option? Probably not, because I got down this far in the list. Do I need a bunch of mana, or does my team need a bunch of mana? Or do I need a big mana pool? And if so, go Arcane Boots, and then say, okay, am I incapable of getting 900 gold? Do I just need some early game health regen and the ability to roam around on the map, or to jungle with my body via tranquil dropping like a motherfucker? If so, then you can go for the tranquil boots.
Okay, and I want to cover like 3 fringe cases here. My first fringe case would be Templar Assassin, who builds both phase boots and blink dagger, pretty much in succession, right?
Well, I'd say TA almost always goes treads these days, but that's a different kind of thing. She did go phase boots for a very long time, and for very good reasons.
Okay, so what would be so she is a hero that I guess it has to do with her W, the fact that she wants to be close to somebody at all times.
A mix of her W and her Q are what makes her good for phase boots. So if you look at refresh, so to know what items you want to go, you want to look at what the hero synergizes with, of course. And you were right to look at meld. She does want to get close to people to get the meld strike off. And in addition, the meld strike is one individual attack that is accompanied by an armor reduction. So armor reduction is a percentage increase. So you have a percentage increase on one attack. So obviously attack speed is not going to help your one attack. But then you look at refraction and you say, oh, okay, this is several instances, so a set limit. So similar to Geminate Attack, where it's just every such and such amount of time, this number of attacks will happen or will be buffed. So no matter how much attack speed you have, your refraction is still only going to give you 6 instances of damage. If I have treads, it's not like I get 17 instances of refraction every 17 seconds. It's still 6 no matter what. So if you have more attack speed than you do have instances of refraction, you're not really like benefiting yourself that much. And if you are doing these things, let's see, how long does meld last? 10 seconds or something like that? Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm looking at it. Yeah, so the idea behind TA is you have this kind of burst damage thing where you either you blink on someone, or you just get close to them, you hide until they walk on top of you, or you run up right next to them and you meld, and then or you put refraction on and you meld, and then you right click them, and your right click does an extra like 150 or something, plus the extra 80 damage, plus the minus armor, and you could have attack speed on that, or you could have more bonus damage. And if you're going to get all of your refraction slaps off, the 24 damage looks more appealing because it gets multiplied by the meld pretty well. But if you live in the real world and you say, wow, it's actually really hard to get 6 attacks off on someone when I don't have any attack speed. And then you say, okay, well, guess I'll be going these treads, because with phase boots, it just takes me too long to get an attack off to actually use all my refraction charges. So that's like this weird thing where you say, oh, it's only 6 attacks, but at the same time, I need to be able to actually get 6 attacks off.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Next fringe case would be Invoker. And this is a type of boot we haven't talked about, which is Boots of Travel. Okay. Why in the hell? Like, I would put him in the category of everybody's complaining about mana. Mana this, mana that, doesn't have enough mana. How come he doesn't fall right onto the arcanes? Like, why is this guy going Boots of Travel?
I mean, I know why he is, but I'm trying to fit it into the case that I just made. Like, I'm trying to defend my thesis, and instead of just say like, well, I guess there's a hole here. I would say even arcanes don't solve Invoker's mana issue, and even if it did solve quote unquote his early game mana issue, it wouldn't be worth the investment, because you don't want to delay your Midas by 900 gold, right? Like if you're a hero that's going for a Midas, you want to get that almost first, right? So you're not going to go Arcane Boots then Midas, and it really doesn't help you that much to go Midas and then like go back for Arcanes. Like I feel like you're already kind of past it at that point. Once you've got your Midas and your levels are coming in, the mana stops being as much of an issue. I feel like that's probably true.
But what is so important about Boots of Travel? Is it the speed from Boots of Travel, or is it
that's a huge aspect of it. It's the speed. It's how much you can move around the map. I don't think I play enough Invoker to say anything about that with the utmost certainty. I feel like someone would be like, well, this is actually the reason why. But I mean, a huge part of it is speed. Invoker, if we're talking about the ways people synergize with individual kits, I think before we've talked about the appeal of just plus move speed versus percentage move speed. And that would be the difference between, say, like Yule's gives you 40 extra move speed and S and Y gives you like 18% move speed. Those are different concepts. And Invoker has Wex, which gives you somewhere between 1 and 7% move speed per instance. So, I mean, Invoker can have plus 21% move speed. And he only has, like, what, 280 base or something like that? It's probably, like, 210.
285 maybe is what his base move. Yeah,
I'm literally going to check in game. Let's see. Is my UI going to pop up ever? Yeah, 280. Okay, cool. So if you get travels, he goes from 280, that's 100 move speed, right, to 380, and then that can be modified by your Wex. But if you just get Arcanes or something, you're at like 340 move speed, less than average, and you're a mid hero that has less than average move speed. That's non-ideal.
And 20% of 340 is a lot less than 20% of 380.
Yeah. So you want the move speed for. You have things that synergize with percentage move speed. You're kind of going to be starved for slots later, and you don't need the other boots that badly. You're more interested in like powering up to your big items. And
boots allow you to do that. BOTs allow you to do that.
Yeah, because travels can get you where you need to be. They can
get you in the fight. I mean, you need to be in the fight as an Invoker. Your whole kit is designed around like control and damage. So missing out on
depending on your phase in the game, or rather you. As Invoker, if there's ever a good opportunity, you want to be able to seize it, whether it be via Sunstrikes or, coming in to deliver your one spell combo or whatever, very tempo-based hero. I feel like I'm not giving great I
feel like it's good enough. No, I feel like it's good enough, and this gives people a reason to email us at defenseofthepatients@gmail.com with why they think. I know there are a lot of hardcore Invoker players out there, but I feel like for a long time I was seeing Invoker phase, which makes a lot of sense for catching up on Cold Snap.
Phase. Yeah, that's one reason mobility is great. He has bad move speed, but the main reason for phase is if you're doing the Quas Wex build, and because Quas Wex doesn't have any points in Exhort, obviously, or very few, so you have very low plus damage, but you have a lot of attack speed from Wex. So you say, oh, my hero has no plus damage, but my hero does right click, and my hero does have a lot of attack speed available. So that's why you get phase boots.
So that makes a lot of sense. And then the third fringe case would be Alchemist, which I feel like a lot of it's already been answered. The real question that I want to get to is, at what point do I say, nope, Boots of Travel aren't happening on Alchemist. I've just got to accept phase boots. Or accept another boot, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if your game's going terribly, you can do that, sure.
So it's all about
or phase.
So it's dependent on snowball, basically. Like, how hard am I snowballing? Travels
is kind of like Midas in that it's a boot option, or rather, it's an item that you buy that I wouldn't say. I mean, Midas saves you gold, or Midas generates you gold. Travels saves it for you. So, like, if you went super greedy, you would go like Midas and Travels, and then instead of ever buying a TP, that would be 50 gold that you just saved. Which is like really, really cool. It used to be much better earlier when TPs used to be
gold.
Yeah, they used to be 135 gold. And every TP that you save that way was like, wow, crazy good. So like in early Travels would be great, but now it's not great for the money saving aspect because you only save 50 gold. But I mean, Travels are mostly like, there's not a good boot option for me. I'm trying to power through to these bigger items. And I'm farming fast enough that spending 900 gold on finishing treads or phase boots or something like that is not interesting if I'm going to so quickly be able to just get to my travels at 30 minutes or something like that. Like if I'm doing sick good on Luna, I might just not finish treads and just power on through to get to get like my butterfly, my helm of the dominator, my manta, my BKB, and then just like, oh, I'm just gonna cap it all off with some travels. But with the advent of stash and various other reasons, I don't really do that anymore. But like that's the kind of mindset you can have for certain heroes, and that's why Alk does it. Alk does it because it's like, I'm gonna get there, so I'm just gonna get there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna wait. I've also seen a lot of really good Meepo players get the treads and sell the treads and buy the boots of travel within like 10 minutes. Like they'll buy the treads because they need the treads in that first 10 minutes, and by the time that first 10 minutes is over, now they have enough gold for BOTs, and then now they have BOTs. But that's another fringe case. Meepo, if you were to go through that list, obviously stat manipulation is going to be the way to go.
It's not even that manipulation. It's that you get like double the effect.
Yeah, it works on every other.
Yeah, it's just you just get a great benefit from stats, especially if they're coming from your boots, because your Meepos copy your boots and they copy your stats. Woo, double jeopardy.
Yeah, for sure. So I want to do just a quick like public service announcement for people. I didn't know this for a really long time, and I think this is a really helpful tidbit. Sharing items exists with Ring of Health, with Voidstone, with Perseverance, with Ring of Regen, and with Sage's Mask.
Yep.
You can literally give your Perseverance to an allied hero, and this will help them.
Yeah,
this is just. I just wanted to slip this in somewhere. Yeah. I do this from time to time where I'll pop a Ring of Health in an ally's. Like, I don't know, if I'm a Lion in lane and I'm building an Aether Lens, I'll give it to my safe lane carry because he's half health. And I'd be like, why did you give me this Ring of Health? I want to heal you up.
And please give it back.
Yeah, and please give it back. But usually they will, especially if you're showing the generosity of letting them use it in the first place.
No, that's good. I don't think we've ever covered that. But yeah, that's some like old school stuff. It used to just... I don't know. It used to come up a lot, but now not nearly as much. But yeah,
I don't do it too often. I'm not going to say like every time I get a Ring of Health, I'm passing it back and forth. But there are cases where you're out of tangos in a lane, and your AM still needs to stay here farming, and you're a Lion, you're full health. Give it to your AM for a little while, let him heal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying. There's not a lot of situations where a Lion is just chilling with a Ring of Health, though. But
I just built the Aether Lens argument.
Normally it comes up like, if I'm playing PA and I have my Ring of Health for my Vanguard, but I'm at full health, I'm like, oh, hey, support, take this. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't come up too much, but it's definitely nice.
It's something that was cool to know that, like, I was like, whoa, wait, I can give you a Ring of Health or Ring of Regen?
Yeah.
Anyway, so moving on to strengths to my hero and basically, like, determining what I need. So instead of looking at a guide, I've determined what boots I need. Let's pretend we're talking cores, whether this be safe lane, mid, or off lane. What is my next step in determining my next item? So I've determined I need phase, right? Determined I need treads or what have you. Tranquils even in some cases. So
yeah, okay. So it gets a little bit different for core and support. Core.
That's why I wanted to do core. And if you just want to stick with like safe lane, I understand because this mid can have different priorities.
Mid like hardly even gets bottle anymore. It's almost all the same these days.
Yeah,
I haven't gotten a bottle in a long time, and it's been feeling pretty good. Just because Shrine Wand is fantastic. Anyway, so you want to look at almost every hero, I should say, needs to fill out their stats by some metric. And that's to say you want an item like a Ring of Aquila, a wand, a Helm of the Dominator. You need something like that. And there's also the benefit of these kind of like auras that every team wants. You want someone who's going to have a Basilius aura, whether that come from a Ring of Aquila or just a Basilius. Normally you want the Aquila though. Every team wants the Helm of the Dominator aura. And then also a lot of heroes do have some mana issues, but don't want to build the arcanes because they get so much benefit from some other item. And heroes want things like, oh, maybe this hero needs armor. You really, like, as soon as you're done with the boot option, I think that's when it does become especially complicated. But you do want to look at the range of items and at least the range of components that come along then. So that's to say, So like the options for early items on a core would be something like there's Ring of Aquila, there's Veil of Discord, Helm of the Dominator, Drum. I guess you could look at Vladimir's Offering. Actually, that is called Vladimir's Offering, not Vladimir's. Funny shit.
Vladimir's, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Echo Saber, I
Yeah,
feel like would be
Echo
another.
Saber, sure. I feel like that comes in a bit later, but because Echo Saber doesn't so much as build you a base of stats as it does like augment an attack that you have that's good. But
Uh-huh,
that's other
for
things.
sure. Blade Mail, I feel like
Wand,
may
yeah,
come into
wand,
this.
blade mail, sure, wand,
Dragonlance.
armlet, dragonlance, yeah, all of those I would say.
And
And
I feel like,
most heroes almost they need two of these things. I would say there are very few heroes where I don't get two of these options. Like
yeah,
then I'll go wand armlet. I won't just go like treads armlet. I'll go treads wand armlet or life stealer. I would go life steal almost always. I go treads wand armlet. That was a bad example. No, phase wand armlet.
yeah,
Luna, I'd go phase and then Aquila helm of the dominator. I don't just
for
go
sure.
helm of the dom. I go both of those.
It almost does seem like you need to. So the example that comes to my mind is sniper. So I've already determined I need phase boots. I need damage.
Yep.
Attack speed is nice, of course, but like you said, I'm shooting a freaking BB gun at this point. I need to get some damage.
Yeah.
What I love is Dragonlance being able to pop into the side shop, and I'm assuming this is for whatever reason, I'm assuming this is a safe lane sniper because that's how I've been playing him. Although I think is more popular in mid.
Yeah, it's very good.
And buying 2 bands of Elven Skin.
Right.
This
Easy
also
gold
goes with
fills out your
yeah.
damage.
It's easy gold. It's a lot of agility. If you want to talk about helping your attack speed, it is a noticeable bump in your attack speed. I guess Luna would be maybe a better example. Like you get your brown boots, you get your treads, and you're like, wow, okay, I've got agi treads now. This is going a little bit better. And then you get those 2 bands of Elven Skin, and all of a sudden you're no longer missing last hits. And then your Aquila gets to you, and now you're just killing people.
Well,
So
I just the I want to touch on just buying a little bit. This is something that I've started doing recently that's been really nice. I especially because like the safe lane hogging the courier is awful because you have that side shop there. Like if you buy your ring of protection, have that shipped out, finish your Batsy, and then you buy the circlet for your wraith band, and then you mail that out, and then you buy the wraith band recipe, and then you mail it. Like don't do that. What I like to do right now is I shift click the Aquila, and then I control shift click the because I'm gonna go home with the Dominator after. So also the headdress, and then I just buy whatever pieces I can only get at the shop. So I'll buy like the circlet and the wraithband recipe and the headdress recipe, and have those all sent out in like a group. And then I just like buy the slipper of agility and the ring of regen, and I already have the branch for my starting gold. And then like, whoop, I finished up Aquila and headdress, but with like one trip with the courier. So don't buy bands of Elven Skin before you get that. Anyway, sorry, that's just something you should do. Don't hog the courier.
yeah, and another thing to avoid hogging the courier, and I get shit for this all the time on stream, especially with Luna, is buying 3 iron branches to start with.
Oh yeah.
They're like, yo, dude, like.
I mean, depending on your build.
It does depend on my build, but they say wand only requires 2.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, but Helmet Dominator requires 1.
Yeah.
And so
Efficiency.
it's efficiency and it's early damage. An Iron Branch is an item that I used to laugh at, and I don't know. I feel it. Feel it a little bit. I don't know.
I just don't like wand on Luna because I mean you do have an open item slot for a little bit, but if I'm ever gonna fill that slot, I'm gonna fill it with a windlace, not a. Because I feel like if you have Aquila and Dom, I don't know if you need the wand too.
Well, just starting with a wand, as especially recently, kind of fills that gap of them patching Luna to the -6 damage because the wand's gonna give me that stat.
Do you go the early Batsy that I do? The ring of
so I used to start your way where it was Ring of Protection and then like double Tango
Ring of Protection,
or something like that.
Yeah,
Ring of Protection, Circlet, double Tango or something like that. I basically bounce between the two, but yeah. So as you can see, starting items do kind of echo or butterfly throughout, all the way into. I mean, what stage are you calling it when you're picking up 2 of these? Would this be mid game? Is this early mid game?
This is like transitioning into the mid game. Like I want to go into the mid game, like so the end of early game, which is hard to say, but I think the more understandable way to say it is when you're starting to transition into mid game, you want to have a solid base of stats so that you're like a decent hero and you can execute your kit. You can't exactly synergize it with it perfectly, but you can be a hero and you can stand there and be like, my name's Luna and I'm here to fight and I'm proud. And like, yeah, not proud as in my name, but like,
I'm proud to be Luna.
I'm proud to be Luna and to be here with all of you, ready to fight and make a good first impression on that kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, you just want like a solid base of stats so that you can be in the fight and get hit and then hit back. And if you have something super specialized, like let's say I just like I don't spend any gold, and I just get first out of Manta style, but I don't have any health regen, and they like hit me once and I fall over, my Mantas die immediately. Like that wasn't good. You want the Dominator so that you can have full health while you're farming, and then you go to a fight, you have full health, and you have this creep, and you have the Aquila, so after you do a fight, you can then push because you got the aura, and it also gives you like 18 damage, so you don't hit for 0 damage too. So you just want these like very efficient, because the smaller items, they are more efficient. They're not transformative, but they are very efficient in terms of the attributes that they do give you.
Yeah. If you had unlimited slots for Gloves of Haste, like that would be better than buying Hyperstones.
Yeah, that'd be way better than Moon Shards. Yeah, Glove of Haste is 20 attack speed for 500 gold. If you bought 4 of those, that would be 80 attack speed for 2,000 gold. Whereas a Hyperstone is 2,000 gold for 55 attack speed. That's
but it's
difference.
Slot management as well. I mean, there's just it's such an infinite pool of complexity, which is why like trying to tackle this topic, I feel like so far I will go ahead and
Dota
say
itemization, because I hated League itemization. I played a little bit of League way back in the day, and I was just like, oh, what stats do I need? And like they had a cool shop. You could just like click and say like, oh, I want this. I want attack speed and health, and then it just had an item that did that. For every single stat, basically, there was some item that gave that. But for Dota, it's like, I want health and armor, and Dota's like, that doesn't exist. Try again. You're like, what?
Yeah, you're gonna have to get health and attack speed and then mana and armor, and it's like, well, I don't really need the mana, but
you could go
I need
like
the
Crimson
armor.
Guard, and they're just like, well, I don't really want Crimson Guard. I just want these stats, and they're just like, well, you can't have those stats. Like, I want it's just like the itemization is so restrictive. So if you're like, oh, I want evasion as a carry, but I don't want like a halberd, but I want evasion. But I want like evasion and health, but halberd just sucks. I went. So he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to get my health elsewhere. Like I'm just gonna have to get health earlier and to augment the fact, or to synergize with my butterfly. I can't just have these stats. So like every item decision that you want to have later has to be built off a base that you make earlier. It's crazy, man. It's fucking wild.
I mean, it really is a crazy game, and I feel like I want to stop here so that we can organize our thoughts for next week, because I want to bring in. It's been an hour. I want for next week, because I have a feeling this is going to be maybe a 3-part thing for Proudland. Yeah. I just want to make sure that we have some good hero examples for the next segments that are upcoming. And also, I cannot wait to get to late game, because that is where I personally struggle the most. I'm Storm Spirit. I have Bloodstone. I have
get Ags.
Yeah, and it's like maybe Ags is the item on Storm Spirit.
Sometimes
you know what I mean?
It is. Sometimes you're against a Meepo and you just need to pull them all in.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's something that I would be like, Ags. But there are situations where it's like it's a Meepo and a Ricky and a Huskar or something like that, and they're always grouped together. Yeah. And Aghanims is going to be awesome on Storm Spirit. Yeah. Or like I'm Sven, and there is so many single target bullshit going around, and there's a Necrophos. I'm gonna get a Lincoln Sphere on Sven.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. And
it's like, whoa,
like Sven. Whoa.
Yeah, it's like, what? Like Sven doesn't build those, you idiot.
Lincoln Sphere has a bunch of stats on it, and Sven does like stats.
Yeah, and so it's those games that, when you're able to suspend what you have previously thought is good for what is situationally good now, is when you can really be like I remember a game where I built Lincoln Sphere on Sven, and I'm still proud of it, because it was like the right thing to do.
But the thing is, in those games, it's like you can't just swap one item out for a Lincoln's. It's not just like, oh, instead of Daedalus, I buy Lincolns. Like, you're not going to win that game. You gotta
It-
restructure everything. I probably would not go Echo Saber if I was planning on getting Lincolns later.
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe you did get Echo Saber, realized you needed a Lincolns, and goodbye Echo Saber, hello Lincolns.
Yeah, like I would
Or
replace
something
the
along
Lincolns
those
or
lines.
the Echo Saber for the Lincolns.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a lot.
Yeah.
Crazy shit. It's crazy.
I know, and it's such a
Dota 2.
giant pool. Dota 2, goddamn.
Dota 2.
Dota 2, goddamn. It's a crazy game, and
Isn't Grouty a
we
good
all-
offlaner?
Grouty is a good offlaner. Grouty's a good player. He's too self-deprecative, dude. He needs to be like,
I love Grouty.
if he were like, I am God, I am Gruton the God, I feel like he would play like at least twice as good.
Well, I don't know. He sits on
already
low ground
plays
for no
well.
reason pretty often, and I feel like if he had a lot of confidence, that would just be worse.
He got so much shit for that.
Dude, he
playing
was just like,
Magnus.
there was like a tier 2 dying, and he's just like, I'm just gonna hang out on the low ground. I'm like, why are you there? And he's like, air pressure, and then dies.
He said, why are you there? And he's like, because no one would think I was here. And it's like, well, they obviously did, because you're dead.
Daytime, you know? They got a spark. All they got to do is walk forward and be like, hey, is anyone sitting down there? Yeah! Like, you know, anyway, I love you, Grouty. I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too. All right, so plugs. defensethepatients@gmail.com. Of course, remember, stream Saturday the 18th of, what month is this? March? The month of March.
This is
we
March.
just marched forward. Yeah, so the 18th, 6 a.m. EST, not EDT, EST, not 6 a.m., 6 p.m. EST to 6
6 p.m. Eastern. Wait, 6 a.m.?
6 p.m. 6 p.m. PM,
Okay.
PM.
Wait, so it's
6
starting.
PM.
It's starting
Yeah.
p.m.
Yep, starting PM,
Okay.
ending AM, and that is on the 12 a.m.
The 12.
Also, twitch.tv/.btv, Patreon. You guys, that's what this is. That's what this stream is. It was for our $500 goal that we reached. Thank you so much. The Patreon's kicking ass. We were able to get some green screens out to both Ursi and Proud, a new microphone for Proud, which some of you may or may not be able to tell. For the audio files, I'm sure you can tell. It's a good mic, I think. It sounds good, at least. I mean, that's the whole point. So thank you there. Website getting very close to completion. I know I keep talking about this, but it's awesome. And there will be a lot of fun stuff.
Really good. It's gonna be fucking.
It's just looking so much better every single day. Like dude, I refresh that more than I refresh that as though like I just sent like my undying love in a text to a girl that had no idea. Yeah. And I'm just like refreshing, like, oh god, what are they gonna think?
Yeah, you just to see that, and then they just you're just like, maybe they sent it. Maybe they replied, and I just haven't seen it yet. Maybe it's still loading. Yeah, no, you're just back off.
Yeah, no, I'm refreshing constantly, but I'm not bugging the web developers. I like their work. Yeah, I like their work. I'm not bugging anybody. Also, Sam's been doing a bunch of replay reviews. Also, if you are interested in coaching from Proud, go into discord.gg/.p and direct message Proud. You do coaching. I have a lot of people messaging me for you. Stop that. Just message Proud directly, please. You're flooding my inbox.
I'm very intimidating. People, they seem like, I don't know if I can. I'm gonna have to ask Roland if it's okay. But no, I'm actually.
And I'm like, yeah, I'll get you in touch with Proud.
I'm a nice soft boy. And
he's a good coach. I will say that. I get it for free. That's my perk. But usually I don't take it because he actually tries to make me a better player, and that's not always what I want.
Yeah,
is to be better.
Sometimes you just want to be a fuck ass maxing blast off on techies for no reason, and then tell me I'm wrong. I'm like,
I called you an ignorant bitch. Is what I called you.
That's what I know. I was just like, all right, he's joking now, and then like, is that right? Is Proud an ignorant bitch? I'm like, I don't know. I might be. I trust Roland, except when it comes to what techies builds. I didn't actually know if you were like, not that you were serious in calling me that name. That slightly sexist name, but I didn't know if you. I thought there was a high chance because like you used to fight with me about techies maxing suicide first, and I was like no, and you were like no, that's accurate, and like that was a legitimate fight, and now you're just like, well, I don't know, blast off. I think you just have an aversion to playing techies well, Like,
yeah,
not
I have an aversion to playing a lot of things well. I play them my way, and that's what's the right way for me.
Yeah, because like you only play techies when you have no interest in playing good Dota. So like it just
Yeah, that's
exacerbates the
true.
problem. If you're like,
Well, I'm like tired. I want
yeah,
to play Dota, but I'm tired, and I don't want to put all the effort in of like last hitting with Luna perfectly and like
yeah.
turning on my BKB when I'm supposed to. I just want to lay bombs and blow myself
Not
up.
even. You just want to blow yourself up. You just want to like die aggressively at people. You're like, I'm gonna die anyway. Might as well be an aggressive action.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, it's true. So YouTube /ToppyTV1.
Yeah, I reviewed a game. I reviewed a Weaver game, and I think
nice.
it was great. I think it was a great review, and I think everyone should look at it.
Good. Well, they will know how to find it now.
Yeah.
I am Roland, and that is Proud.
And welcome to Proudland, where you learn to be a better gamer.
Ding.
That's day 9.
That is day 9. I don't think we can say that. This is where you can come to learn about items for the next few episodes. Thank you for listening to Proudland.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Because it's been a while.